outside looking in. I had never really experienced anything. And I saw one of my abusers walking into the room, and he went up to one of my uncles and slapped him on the back and let out this laugh, like his head tilted back, his crest white smile, this big guffaw. And something inside of me snapped because I was out there in the rain, and I do believe it was like the 3-year-old little girl in me jumping up and down inside of me, and she was screaming at me, but I couldn't hear her. It was very, very faint. But she said, you know, like, what the hell? You didn't do anything wrong. They did. Why are you standing out here in the rain? And they're in there laughing like they own the joint. And it was at that precise moment that I realized that by not living my life the way that I was born to live it, and by not doing what I was born to do, that I had allowed every one of them to win.
Yeah.
They had taken my past, and I was giving them my present.
Yeah.
And apparently I wanted to give them my future too.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
And there was something inside of me that just said no. And so it's not like at that moment that I made a 10-year plan and said, hey, I'm going to be, you know, with Vanessa on her podcast, and I'm going to do all that stuff. That wasn't it. The first thing I did was I started eating properly. I started taking better care of myself and giving a little bit of self-care. And then I joined a gospel choir that was amateur, and to get my voice back. And then I became their lead singer. And then I got in a show and I portrayed Peggy Lee for a while, and I toured with that. And then I decided to write a show about Eva Cassidy. And then I did my album, and then I started touring and that kind of thing. And it just was little steps. And now I speak more, and I'm writing a book about my life and that I hope to come out with next year. And, you know, things like that. So
you keep progressively with the effort and the mind into the right place, and you basically that day when you were with your family and they were laughing, you just kind of realized, like, this is why I'm here, because I'm allowing those people to define me, to tell me who I am, to tell me that I'm not worth it. So, you know, sometimes those moments needs to happen for you to, you know, to wake up. You know, there's people who never wake up on this planet, and you had gone through so much already. So it was, you know, it was a wake up call, I guess. And,
and it's now my mission to. No one had said to me, "Don't let fear stop you," and no one had said to me that I had a choice to respond. How I choose to respond to trauma or drama that happens in my life, and my own personal part in taking ownership of my life, like understanding that I am actually the master and the author of my life, and that I have choices that I can make. I can't always control the things that happen. We can't control pandemics. We can't control who's I'm from Canada, but trust me, you guys sneeze and we get a cold. So I can't control who's in the government or anything like that, but I can control how I react to those things. I can control whether they stop me from continuing on to my path, or whether I shift and pivot. Shift and pivot to move on to something else. It's those are the things that are important, and understanding that we always have a choice. So it's now my mission to let other people know, especially people that are from my age group, because I think that we weren't taught that we do have a voice and we still have a purpose. There's something for us all to do, and that life doesn't end just because you turn 40 or 50. I talk to 35-year-olds who think that their life is over and that they're too late to sing. I'm like, oh my word, honey, that's where I go back. You know, like,
that's where I got started. Yeah.
It's like that. No, like don't even think that way.
That story really gives you hope for those people, like you say, who at 35 or 40 think, I went through so much. This is unrecuperable. It's my life is over. and I've went through too much, and there's no way I'm ever going to succeed. A lot of people. So seeing that, like from you, instead of saying, oh, you should have been successful at 20 or 25, or it's over. I used to think the same way. I was always chasing being successful until I was 27, 30. And when it didn't happen, people keep telling me, family members, and I wasn't successful. I thought, damn, I spent 10 years trying to do that. And now they're telling me I'm too old when I was only 27, you know? And
Yeah.
so after those years, I spent all this time trying to prove myself, to be better, to feel like maybe I was not worthy, or I needed to feel worthy. A lot of people feel that way. And, that thing you say about your sister, she kind of opened your eye on something you didn't know. A lot of people have that problem. It's something they just need to hear, and they just don't know.
Yeah.
And they, for them to understand it, they just have to either hear it from a specific person, or be in a specific setting, or go through a traumatic event, just something. So
Yeah.
it can like tilt, like you say, and they can like take off. And
And the thing is that the thing is, Vanessa, is that if we do not follow our path or our purpose, like I could sit there and say, I could take what I learned in that thing and I could keep quiet and not speak about it. And the thing is not everybody wants to hear from Tony Robbins or, some of these big names. Sometimes hearing from somebody like me, who's just a regular person who has, gone through certain things and understands what it's like to feel that way. And also, I've been on both sides. I know what it's like to have life absolute, like to not make the choice and have it throw me. And I also know what it's like to pick myself up, and trust me, the other side is much better. And so sometimes when people hear it from somebody that's just ordinary, it has more impact with them than, say, hearing it from some, big person that, speaks to 10,000 people all the time. So it's really important for us that when we do learn things like that, learn life's life's things, the things that hit us upside the head, that we share, because we never know when we're going to be the light to somebody else, that's going to spark them to go on and move on to do something else, right? It's really
yeah.
important that we use our voice and that we speak about the things that we know about, and that have really touched us, to share it with other people. I just feel it's important. So that's why I'm so grateful that you do what you do, because it's part of us, women. It's important that we use our voice. It's important that we speak up and let our voice be heard. So
Yeah, and there's still some people stuck at home right now trying to have a voice heard, and they just don't know where to go. And I've been that person. I used to have my voice heard everywhere, and then I lost it, and then when I lost it, I really felt like I was closed up in a world where there was no way out. There was no way for me to speak up or to be heard. You can speak, but that doesn't mean you're being heard by anybody, or maybe the person that you wanted to be heard from. And so it's hard to break the walls on your own sometimes. So I'm glad you're here, and we all hear men's, women's voice, to just allowing anybody to know that it's there for you, that there's a way to reach out, and you can have that beautiful life no matter what happened to you, and you can just
absolutely,
open up. Yeah,
absolutely.
because we all go through things, and some people go through way more than others, and it's life, and we all live in a different ways of seeing things anyway. So would you like to sing something short, maybe?
Yeah. Okay, well, I have a song that I call Divalicious. It's fast, though. I don't know how that would work a cappella, but I like the words to it. It goes, some say I'm too old, too much meat on my bones. My time is past, too many milestones. Leave it for the young, be surreptitious. I don't fit in your mold. 'Cause I'm divalicious.
Wow. Bravo.
There you go.
Your music. Oh my
Yeah,
God. Yeah, I listened to you music and Eva Cassidy, some of the YouTube video I saw all the comments, so many comments.
yeah.
It's really sweet, like a little sweet voice. And what happened to her? What's her story?
She got cancer. Um,
Mm.
she passed away from melanoma, and it was very sad because she really that the YouTube video that I sent, which was of her singing at oh, what's it called? Oh, I can't remember. Sorry, it's just it's escaped me. But she was singing at her last place in DC, and that was her last concert that she did. And it was recorded, and then she was gone that year. So what you saw was one of the last recordings of her. But she was diagnosed with melanoma and passed away quite awfully, like an awful passing. She did do one live concert before she passed away and came on and sang "It's a Wonderful World," and that's where a bunch of people they'd had a fundraiser for her, and they did that, and that's what I was saying that my friend went to go see that, and that's where she went. But I was going to tell you, I was before my mic went, I was going to tell you just a serendipitous story that went along with that.
Okay.
Uh, that I was talking to my friend Janine, who lives in DC. We had met online, and we were talking on a Zoom call, and it was one of our first ones. And I mentioned Eva, and like I said, she said that she had been to this final concert of hers. And when I was like, "Whoa, tell me about it! Tell me all the details." And then she told me that she actually knew Eva's guitar player and Eva's drummer. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's so cool." And that last year I went to DC and to New York, and my friend Janine arranged for me to meet Eva's I had dinner with Eva's guitar player and drummer.
Nice.
And what was so cool was then we went into the living room, and um, Chris not Chris, sorry, Keith brought out his guitar and started playing it, and Rice started playing the wicker chair, and I sang Valerie by oh gosh, can't remember anybody's name, but I sang Valerie. Anyways, and then we had this impromptu minute moment, and I got to jam with two guys from Eva Cassidy's band.
Cool.
That was a surreal moment for me. It was just, and fortunately, Janine pulled out her phone and videoed the last little bit of it, so I've got it on video,
Oh,
which is
nice.
very cool. But it was just this really neat. It was very serendipitous, this whole thing, and so now I know them and keep in touch with them, and it's kind of neat to have been able to actually, because I do feel that when I was on stage singing the songs about Eva and telling her story, and it really came from a point of love. It was because I was a fan. And so the story came to just tell other people about Eva and come from my point of view. And I was singing my version of her version of somebody else's song. So I wasn't impersonating her at all. And there were times where I really felt like she was watching. I just really felt that I had the blessing of her. And that's kind of weird. It only happened a couple of times, but I just really felt like it was okay. I had done something good because it was
Yeah.
from a real place of love and honor to her.
Yeah.
And so it was a beautiful experience doing that show. I hope to maybe bring it up again, maybe at the 10-year anniversary or something like that, and do it again.
Oh,
Just a
you
couple of
are.
shows. I think so. I think so.
So it's
So
really picking on. Looks like people are really enjoying it, and it probably just feel that a good vibration.
I
This,
get I get emails about it all the time. I only did it in Canada, but I get emails about it all the time. People, are you doing it again? And I'm like, yeah, because I started I felt it was time for me to start telling my own story and singing my own songs, and that
yeah.
was a good choice. But at the same time, the Eva Cassidy show has just been, it was a beautiful experience. I had fun every moment. The band had fun every moment. So it was really a beautiful experience for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope people are gonna join you on Instagram and Twitter. You there often?
Yes, I am. Instagram is a good place for me. That's where I'm spending more time, and so I am officially